What up, everybody? It's your boy Pyro, Slays Music, and today we're checking out JER, Death of the Heart. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like this is JER's 5th album. I'm rather new. No, I am. I'm completely new to this. If I don't see it in the albums. Maybe you guys can help me in the comments. Ska2 Network, was that JER? Because I have heard a few Ska2 Network tracks, and while I enjoyed them, I got a lot of sass about them, if I remember correctly. Like, people not really enjoying it, but regardless, I don't really care what other people think when I'm listening to music. I'm just going to give you my opinions, which are probably worse than what other people think. So, yeah, there's that. I love ska. I like punk. I see maybe there's some political hip-hop in here, which I absolutely would eat up. But let's just dive in, see what we're kind of dealing with here. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Still bothered.
I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like I'm fleeched the next day. Hey, hey, yeah. I'm so fucking tired of a system that requires all this chaos, killing, violence until there's no more survivors. Yeah, make it all go away. Nah, I can't wonder why can't I sleep at night? Cause nothing is feeling right. Maybe cause the world is heating and the ice caps are receding. In the window that we have to save the planet, Earth is bleeding. Is there something wrong with me? Cause I'm filled with anxiety and y'all drown in your apathy. Our ruling powers agonize, sick and poor marginalized, and now we're all desensitized. Our traumas are normalized. Oh, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like I'm fleeched the next day. Hey, hey, yeah. And I'm so fucking tired of a system that requires all this chaos, killing, violence until there's no more survivors. Yeah, make it all go away. Is nobody really phased? No blood pressure being raised, watching fashions getting praised. Even as communities and shrug it off, it won't be me when they come knocking at the door. They won't be dragging my body. Is there something wrong with me? Cause I see the dichotomy of moral code in this country, and we're all living in denial, leaving planet Earth defiled. People enslaved or exiled, fundamentally hostile. Oh, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like I'm fleeched the next day. Hey, hey, yeah. And I'm so fucking tired of a system that requires all this chaos, killing, violence until there's no more survivors. Yeah, make it all go away. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like complete shit the next day. Don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like complete shit the next day. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like complete shit the next day. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. One day I'm so unbothered, then I feel like complete shit the next day. Don't know why I'm feeling this way. Maybe it's the system that is killing us that we can't escape. Don't know why I'm feeling this way. Maybe it's the threat of fascism growing in a police state. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Maybe insomnia robs me of the American dream that's so great. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Maybe it's only me who's losing sleep over the way of the world today.
Okay, so nice little ska punk tune. I do feel I want to listen to this one or two more times because I felt like some of the instruments were really high in the mix and kind of made them distorted. But maybe I'm just full of it, and I don't know. Lyrically, is what I was trying to pay attention to, and I did enjoy what I was hearing there. Oh, I don't know why I feel this way. One day I'm so unbothered, and then I feel like complete shit the next day. And I'm so fucking tired of a system that requires all this chaos, killing, violence until there's no more survivors. Fuck yeah, I feel that. Now I wonder why I can't sleep at night, because there's nothing feeling right. Maybe this world is heating and the ice caps are receding and the window that we have to save planet Earth is fleeting. Is there something wrong with me because I'm filled with anxiety and y'all drowning in your apathy? Our ruling powers agonized, sick and poor, marginalized, and now we're all desensitized. The trauma's all been normalized. Then jumping over to the next verse. So we're hitting a lot of, obviously, capitalistic themes. And since we're in late game capitalism, hell yeah, that's rather fitting, right? Unfortunately. Is nobody really phased? No blood pressure being raised? Watching fascists being praised? Demonetize communities and shrug it off. It won't be me. When they come knocking at my door, they won't be dragging my body. Is there something with me because I see dichotomy of moral code in this country, and we all live in denial, leaving planet Earth defiled. People enslaved are exiled, fundamentally hostile. Love the way that flows. Again, still hitting on the same kind of a theme as before, and doing a really good job of it, in my opinion. I'm not really going to dig into the outro here too much because I like what I'm hearing. I'm going to put it in a playlist just based off lyrics personally. Glad to hear somebody else feeling like me. You know what I mean? We need a little bit. We need more vocalization, I guess. I don't really know what the fuck we need. It's crazy the way the last 5 years have turned out in general. Not in a good way. Feels like every single time there's a chance things get better, it gets fucking way worse. The way you tune it out. Oh, are we going to talk a little bit about disassociating? Because that's another frustrating thing. Is people dissociating and not paying attention to shit around them because they feel like they don't have a voice in the matter, or they're just lazy. Making things much worse. People, what are you going to do?
Trying to figure out and see what you perceive. Rationalizing human idiosyncrasies. The notion that a national devotion is a freedom, laughably alive. Insidious doctrines and rights to commodify human life. But you don't want to hear it. We can tell by the way you tune it out. 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 Ocean boiling, the climate is recoiling. Our planet dying for the profit of the oilmen. Don't wanna hear it, wanna live in your delusions. Don't wanna see it, wanna find your own conclusion. Go ahead and flip the script. We know you don't wanna depict reality of what's going down. We can tell by the way you tune it out. Tune it out. The way you tune it out. The way you tune it out.
I'm terrified at the moral apathy, the death of the heart, which is happening in my country. These people have deluded themselves for so long that they really don't think I'm human. I base this on their conduct, not on what they say. And this means that they have become, in themselves, moral monsters.
Oh, man. So, first off, let me say I like the energy here. I think it's a little repetitive, which is, fine. It's something that just kind of personally irritates me every once in a while, but it's made up because a lot of these, there is some solid lyrics here as well. Verse 1, trying to figure it out and see what you perceive, rationalize inhuman idiosyncrasies. Oh, I can fucking speak English for once. The notion that our national, and then I'm just going to butcher it, every single word from here on out, devotion is of freedom, laughably a lie. Insidious God-given right to commodify human life. God damn, let this motherfucker cook. Oh! Ocean boil. Oh, fuck. Ocean boiling. The climate is recoiling. Our planet dying for the profit of the oil men. Don't want to hear it. Want to live in your delusions. Don't want to see it. Want to find your own conclusions. Yeah. I like this a lot lyrically, and I like the topics that JER is exploring here. It's a very frustrating time, and finger pointing doesn't help a whole lot either. We have a tendency on the internet to really, I find it a little amusing. A lot of the stuff that people yell at other people on the internet about, especially on the right wing or conservative side of things, it's almost like I live in a very rural area, Midwestern America. And yeah, there's a lot of racism, but it's funny because not even just racism, it's just a lot of the people around the area, and it might just be older people because a lot of people that are my age, they're at least semi-connected to the internet. And so you've explored a lot of topics and themes and kind of thought things out. But I feel like maybe it's some of the older generation didn't really, and they're really in a culture bubble is what I would like to call it, where you grow up, you think it's very normalized. And we're so worried about online presence and people, conspiracy theories is a good one, like people eating that shit up. But you get mad at these people that are doing stuff like that on the internet, and then you didn't even think about the fucking culture bubble. So you got everywhere, and all of these people reinforcing each other's beliefs. It's pretty wild. And then you have the shit ton of propaganda that's poured on top of it. Sometimes I just feel bad for people that don't get it. And then it makes it even harder because I'm not a big people guy myself, but I want to see the best in people. And it's very, very hard. Very hard. And then when you try to explain things, they just act like you're a stuck-up prick. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at in my local area. Like someone's they target you for no reason in a conversation. Just to be like, hey, this fucking liberal over here. And you're like, dude, I don't give a shit left, right. I just want people to be better, man. And I think so far, 2 songs in, we're talking a lot about apathy. And I think that is the gist of it. A lot of people just not giving a damn about other people. And it's making things so much worse. I think we need to, I would love to dive into causes and stuff of that, but I don't even know where to start with it. There's so much. And social media definitely isn't a help. But yeah, those damn culture bubbles are just as bad in my opinion as, your big podcast or whatever that's conservatives or something. It's everywhere. And then it's all just reinforced structurally by the local areas. So even for me, it's hard because I feel like I've gotten pretty good. I've gotten out of a lot of the stuff that I did when I was younger that would be socially accepting where I'm at and not anywhere else. You know what I mean? And I've done pretty good at getting away from that, but I do have people around me or in my life that definitely feel that I'm stuck up or something because of that. And it's just, it's not really true. It's just, I want people to be better, man. So fucking greedy in this country. On top of the apathy, greed and apathy together, it's just tearing everything apart. Okay, we're 2 songs in. If I keep babbling like this, we're never going to get fucking through this. So let's continue. Couldn't be me. Ooh.
sorrow. The time you living on ain't yours, it's strictly borrowed. Now can you really act surprised like the devil hasn't lied? In the very fabric of this land, don't you understand? Demonize anybody that they can. No iota for the human decency quota. The band of frequency too high for human hearing. As they steering our demise, you surprised when they really leaving you behind. Did you lose your safety? Guaranteed by the roots of your family tree. Soil so fertile, centuries decomposing. Fruits of the labor and pain of ebony bodies. Could not be me, could not be me. You try to renew your lease 4 more years. Ignore the screams, the tears, negative peace. Melanin voices try to tell you heed no warning, no need in mourning. A conflict they'll never find the middle. End up like Solomon with the fiddle. Now can you riddle me that? Fascist umbrella growing wider. Now you under attack. Now you feel like it's dire. Suddenly an insomniac. American dream expired. Cannibalized by the desire of occupiers. Did you lose your safety? Guaranteed by the roots of your family tree. Soil so fertile, centuries decomposing. Fruits of the labor and pain of ebony bodies. Could not be me, could not be me. Don't do politics, it's true. Politics always do you. Don't do politics, it's true. Politics always do you. Do you? Did you lose your safety? Guaranteed by the roots of your family tree. Soil so fertile, centuries decomposing. Fruits of the labor and pain of ebony bodies. Did you lose your safety? Guaranteed by the roots of your family tree. Soil so fertile, centuries decomposing. Fruits of the labor and pain of ebony bodies. Could not be me, could not be me.
Okay, initially in this track, it jogged a memory of the last track that I wanted to talk about, but I got sidetracked by the freaking lyrics that were really solid. B-52s, I'm getting a B-52 kind of vibe, like through some of this, which is intriguing. I like that. And this one had more of a reggae feel, and I like that. I like the reggae feel. And there's kind of a wall of noise that kind of hits you at certain parts of the song, and that was fine. That was really, it was pretty sounding. However, I don't know if I really liked a lot of the melodies used here, and some of the sounds just didn't really work for me, and I didn't like where the vocals were either in the mix, just to be totally honest. So this one's kind of a miss for me. Lyrically, it was fine, obviously, but the other two are definitely a little bit more higher on my list. I don't know if this one would make a playlist either. Kind of felt a little bit, I don't know the right words for it, but like your typical reggae, I guess. I do enjoy reggae, but it tried to do the pick it up thing where it was like ska, but it definitely felt more reggae. And I'm curious if, ska peeps in the comments, you can drop down if I'm wrong here. I've that's fine. I do get the ones confused. I feel like ska's a little bit more, I don't know, ska, rock steady, and reggae, they're all different in their own ways. And sometimes I do struggle to separate those. I think a lot of people do. Silence is violence. My goodness. Okay, so I love this. I like the vibe, but that piano, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I love that. That was what won me over here. But I do want to say real quick, shout out to JER, regardless if I like this project or dislike it. That doesn't matter. Something I've been bitching about all freaking year, and it's really been bothering me. The amount of punk bands putting out punk music that does not delve into any of the issues and just kind of is like, oh, the government's bad. And it's like the most lukewarm piss take I've ever heard in my life. Like, you're a fucking punk band. Dig into some shit. Sure, I mean, you know, the punks also can be sloppy and fun, but dig into the problems, guys. And this is what we're seeing here with JER is doing it. And I just got to say, regardless of any, like, if I, you know, musically I'm not a fan by the end of this, lyrically gave me some hope. I like that. It just feels like so many punk bands put out something that's like very vaguely talking around the problem. And do you think it's got to be spelled out? You know what I mean? You got to spell it out, because some of these people, they ain't getting it. They don't understand irony. And they don't even, like, there's been several albums I've checked out this year from punk bands, and I'm not going to throw names out because mainly I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it's happened several times. And I'm like, oh, are you a punk band? Like, what is happening here? It's like the most generic one line, you know, it just, maybe it's because I started with Bad Religion, and that just fucking ruined everything for me, because those guys, their lyrics are just unreal. But there's just so many punk bands that are just kind of putting out this really, like, bland and vague, like, oh, you know, your government system's bad. And like, we have fucking lists of data and problems happening in this country. And you're telling me you can't do a fucking Google search to put it into your lyrics? So, okay, that's the end of rant. But good job, JER. I'm very happy with what we got here lyrically so far. Even if we have, you know, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of fun going forward. And capitalism breeds devastation's coming up. And, you know, they hear us, but they ain't listening. A call to the lonely. There's some really solid lyricism here, though, so far. Let's hit this interlude.
Let me get you some help. You're not well.
You can't sleep.
Let's keep this rolling.
Let me get you some help.
Hell yeah.
You're having a nervous breakdown. Let me get you some help.
Let's get some of that CBD in here.
You're not well.
And here we go. Here's some CBD for you guys. It's not going to calm you down, though. It's not that kind of
Strip the earth of all its life, no conscience. Eternal state of theft and conquering. Endless, mindless consumption running rampant. Rotting from manifest destiny. But nature is like a nurture, severing us further and further from humanity, community, trust and knowing each other. Why should I batten out when the wealthiest maximize profit from leeching? No preservation, free nothing but devastation. Creeds of ours respecting no existence. Bomb the children, send them to the mines. Corpses built of violence is relentless. Record profits, expense of mankind. But nature is like a nurture, severing us further and further from humanity, community, trust and knowing each other. Why should I batten out when the wealthiest maximize profit from leeching? No preservation, free nothing but
For the
devastation.
flora, the oceans, for the fauna, the mountaintops, the workmanship in boxes, and the produce on your countertop. Every child is under threat and every animal's on the brink. So is the end of capitalism as radical as you think? Fossil fuel industry barons, insurance company heads, private prison profiteers, sleeping sound in their beds. Got nothing on the people, organized in the street, educated, agitated, ready to take the planet back from their greed. Greed, insatiable and bottomless. Greed, unthinking and dispassionate. Greed, but we can take the planet back from they. We can take the future back from they.
Justifying carpet bombing children. Empathy for no one but the villains. Forced eviction on a helpless mother. No compassion for one and another. Justifying carpet bombing children. Empathy for no one but the villains. Forced eviction on a helpless mother. No compassion for one and another. Justifying carpet bombing children. Empathy for no one but the villain. Forced eviction on a helpless mother. No compassion for one and another.
What a fucking banger. That's a great track. Holy hell. All right, so I think, like, I'm not super schooled. I've taken a couple classes on, like, capitalism, a couple classes on, like, socialism via, by classes, I shouldn't say classes. That's not the right word. I'm looking for lectures. Holy shit. I went through a whole series of lectures, like, breaking down, you know, the goods and bads of capitalism. And legitimately, the only thing good in capitalism is the very beginning, before all the corporations pool all the money into one fucking thing. So it's very deceiving because it gives you this little time, and I think a lot of my peeps locally kind of fall in this trap. With capitalism, initially you have this really nice period of wealth where people are actually doing well, right? And then what happens as the people with more and more money, they slowly start to kind of group and form your BlackRocks and that kind of shit, right? So it's very deceiving. If you don't look into it, you're going to be completely under the rug. And apparently, even if you tell people about it, they're just like, ha, 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 this is our system. But late game capitalism it's always kind of been noted as that's the problem. It continues until your corporations are basically running things, and it's kind of funny too because you know we're in a supposed democracy, and you know your monarchy. We all know what monarchy is. At least I would hope so. Monarchy is your king, and you have like a king. You have a group of nobles, probably, maybe your priesthood, and then your peasants, right? Capitalism kind of works in a similar way, just kind of deceiving, a little more deceiving if you really want to look at it. Especially the way our system's kind of set up. At least this is the way I picture it. And you guys can feel free to correct me, and you know, I'm definitely down for that. But for me, I've always, like, since I've kind of done that research and stuff, I've kind of viewed capitalism the same way as monarchy, just kind of more deceptively. You have your government, and hey, you can vote within that government, right? That's great. However, the giant corporations that have pooled the money and not trickled down, what they can do is they can buy your favorite politician through lobbying. So to me, it almost comes off a little bit more like that corporate interest as it gains power and money pools more and more in one collective area, or 3 collective areas, or 4, whatever the fuck it is now. It's not much. Maybe it's like 6 or 7 things. A big ass corporations kind of running most of the stock market type things, but I can't be specific on that without looking it up. But yeah, so you have your giant corporations are actually kind of a little bit more powerful than your government because they're fiddling your god. They're puppeting in a weird way through the capital. And so you're pouring insane amounts of money into the political side that works best for you as a rich person, giving 0 fucks about the people below you. So it really comes off as monarchy, because when you're a king, like, especially when monarchy was popping in Europe, you know, back in the day, medieval Europe, you're looking at, I believe it was Catholicism, where you were born, and if you were a peasant, guess what? God willed it that way, and people just ate that shit up. So, you know, you were born to be a peasant playing with the fucking pigs in the mud, right? And the king's just thriving off of all the stuff you're doing. Capitalism kind of works the same way. You have your workers at the very bottom grinding out hours just to keep food on the table, okay? The money they spend a lot of times is strictly survival based. You got your rent, your food, make sure you have clothes on your back. And sure, we have a lot of debt issues, but that's also, again, I think the financial literacy not being an educational thing. And again, capitalism, your company's taking advantage of that. You can't watch TV without having a fucking Capital One commercial or some other stupid shit. And you wonder why there's a huge amount of... Look up the percentage. If you got a little time on your hands, look up the percentage of people in debt in the States. It's insane. Insane. So now you're really powerless because you don't have the money. You're in debt. Money in capitalism is what makes you... that gives you a better life, essentially. And that's the only thing. So yeah, you can have great times with your family and whatnot, but my level of poor is not what like a lot of people's level of poor. You know, people that are homeless and stuff. Like I'm just, we're above that, right? We're above that. I have a house. I'm able to provide for the kids. Me and my wife are able to provide for the kids, education, all that good stuff. So that's fine. But not everyone's able to do that, and that's a problem. And a lot of people are kind of like they're looking at themselves and going, well, if I can do it, you can do it. But not everybody works that way. It's not how life works at all. There's only so much room at the table for everyone to eat, especially with capitalism. It's not really well adjusted. And I want to be clear, I have no problem with like free trade. Free trade's fine. That's not free trade. Free market is kind of what led us here. But trading in general, I think there's nothing wrong with a little like, hey, I have this stool and you have a couch. Do you want to trade? I know you have a bar. So the stool might be a little more fitting for you. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of economy and stuff. Economy's fine. But the way we have it set up is just legitly, in my opinion, kind of a monarchy in disguise is the way I kind of like looking at it. But yeah, we're going to move the fuck on and stop talking about my random ass theories. What will you do, though? Is this the halfway? Almost halfway.
From these people. This is what they expect us to do.
Okay, well, that was interesting. JER really tried a kind of a gruffer sounding voice. Didn't quite get to that scream level as typical ska core, which honestly gave it kind of a unique quality here. Initially, though, that the intro bit kind of reminded me of STP, good old Stone Temple Pilots. Weirdly got that vibe there at the beginning, and then when it kicked in, obviously it had that ska core kind of feel to it throughout. I like a lot of, again, the lyricism here. Another thing that's the wokeness, the wokeness or whatever, right? Trying to be the wokest in the room. I do find that hilarious because, I've had people, bashing me for shopping at a certain place. Most of the time I'm a fucking dad. I have a lot of shit going on, and so I'm in a little bubble, right? And I'm not able to keep up on everything. So sometimes, you'll catch me. No, you'll definitely catch me doing shit that I shouldn't be doing, and that's human, I guess. But at the end of the day, you're yelling at me about supporting a corporation while I'm in YouTube comments. So it's via another corporation. And then you have people arguing which corporation is better. It's a lot of effort. Meanwhile, your tax money is still kind of getting shipped over to, Israel while they're performing a genocide on the Palestinians. What are you doing about the tax money? What are you doing about that? I don't see you moving. I don't see you doing anything else. So shut the fuck up. There's going to be problems for sure, but we need to kind of concentrate on the most important problem and work our fucking way down, guys. Constant finger pointing about, oh my God, that person, they said something wrong and now they apologize for it. I don't believe their apology. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for it. There's so many other real world problems going on, and we're over here yelling at each other on the internet about whatever, It's very freaking exhausting, man. It's very exhausting. I think we just need to understand we're going to be humans. We're going to be flawed, and we need to concentrate on the biggest issue. Somebody saying a bad word of whatever the hell it is. I don't even have an example in this scenario. Versus a kid's life, that's nothing, right? That's fucking nothing. We should already know that. So we should be able to kind of organize, but it's impossible. Everybody's kind of infighting and all this shit, and it makes getting things done very, very, very hard. God, humans are fickle. Cult of the Lonely.
Perception is diluted, a social homicide. Addicted to possession, redirecting self-reflection, reinforcing inhibition, hanging on to superstition. Apathetic, redirect integrity. The possession, obsession aesthetically. Plastic ego investing in vanity. With the depth of the heart, the slaughter felt collectively. The cult of the lonely dwell in the comfort of the frame. An echo chamber of empty praise. Community sin afterthought when you built up by your ego and you're drowning in your pride.
Many choose the path of least resistance, the easy way out. But for me and mine, the struggle still continues. Agents of chaos in the age of cruelty. The value of a ball which surrounds humanity. Remove the shackles, shake this disease. Stand proud, walk till I'm crumbling on your knees. Strike through the devil's heart. Step on the head. Burn back the wretched body. Make everything dead.
Okay, dude. I'm liking the range here. I'm liking the range a lot. And real quick, just in case, I want to jump back. Again, I don't know how my content hasn't been cut to pieces and I've just been canceled years ago. I tangent so freaking much. I was talking about wokeness. I do want to be clear. I don't actually have a problem with somebody being woke, as that just means that they're educated in most senses. And that's like the meaning. I'm pretty sure if you look it up, like it's somebody that just kind of is aware of what's going on, systematically or whatever. I have no problem with that at all. It's the dick measuring contest of wokeness that drives me fucking bonkers. So, yeah, well, I don't listen to, you know what I mean? It drives me nuts. So I want to be clear that I am not one of those people that is walking around and like, this is fucking woke. This is a problem. Because I definitely look like that kind of person. Gotta clarify. This next one has an interlude. We're going to do the same thing we did with the other interlude. I'm going to play through it and then dive right into Death of Heart, because that kind of was an interesting, especially the way they have it set up on this album. I think it kind of works. By the way, I want to say that Omnigon feature was fantastic. Absolutely loved their portion. Added a little bit of kind of a weirdly, I don't know if this is right, because I'm just getting into this band myself, but Snooper kind of reminded me of Snooper a little bit in this scenario. Don't know about the band themselves, obviously. First time hearing anything from them, but the feature here was dope. Let's get it.
But they ain't listening, cognitive dissonance, reminiscent fallacy, a parallel reality, colonize the nationality, born free for who? Free for me, time of peace, nigga please leave a mother on her knees, begging for a chance to breathe, I can't breathe underneath the blue knee, echo skittles, making bullets, ricochet, paradiddle, federal, killer, acquittal. Was I radicalized or are you desensitized? Never batting after the chaos and the violence, living in silence, only possible through the compliance, prisoners and children mining, cobalt, lithium, ion, aceto, zion, pieces, bygone bodies, child, will be on the wrong side of history. Ain't no mystery when phenotypes the nine rats committed genocide. All the lies televised before your very eyes. Disengage! What's warm now? Cold blood, idols and things. Consumed by rage. With nothing left in the chest, bones decay. Up in flames. The paresthesia left me on base. Watch the callous burn, fading concern. Heart withers away. Hearers, but they ain't listening. Always missing it again and again and again. Will it ever end? Trend we created, always confiscated, appropriated, revenue generated, payment made, scrutiny to the highest pedigree. We're just picking up the nigga hanging in the family tree. See the body stack complaining, explaining that the stench is making his sinuses bleed. Decomposition for generations, we built a nation, foil the devil's destruction without creation. Found identity while hated by society, masquerading assimilation as a quality. Trying to warn you, but selective hearing, persevering, fascism ain't appearing. The two-party system is steering for years. Ebony tears fall onto the fears, moral apathy is severe. Disengage! What's warm now? Cold blood, idols in veins, consumed by rage. With nothing left in the chest, bones decay. Up in flames, the paresthesia left me at phase. Watch the callous burn, fading concern. Heart withers away. Disengage! What's warm now? Cold blood, idols in veins, consumed by rage. With nothing left in the chest, bones decay. Up in flames, the paresthesia left me at phase. Watch the callous burn, fading concern. Immortality, heart that cannot bleed. Moral apathy, terror feeling.
Damn. Again, So we have some ska core here. Fucking love it. I don't have the lyrics up. I'm not going to pick my phone up and research each song. I can just tell that I'm going to have so much fun re-listening to this and kind of delving into some of these lyrics. I really got to say I appreciate the way JER kind of comes off lyrically. There we go. Lyrically, I don't feel like it's very stuck up either. You know, sometimes you have there is a tendency to kind of sound like you're more superior when you're talking about these kind of things, just because you have that knowledge. And I think, I don't know, but I do think it's one of the things that kind of plays into people, you know, feeling a certain kind of way about it. You know what I mean? Coming off kind of stuck up prick. I don't think they do that at all throughout this whole album. And they're really just hitting home on some subjects that they feel very passionate about. And let me say, it's just good to hear somebody talking about it in general. I know there's a lot of bands out there touching on the subject and stuff, but again, I got to say I appreciate the depth, and not only the depth, the kind of also having a decent hook and stuff as well. That sounds good. Really like that, and the intro to the song was really nice. That saxophone. I thought this was a Baby making song. I'll be honest. I thought this was a Baby making song. And they started saying about politics. And I'm like, I'm so confused. What's happening? He got so angry so quick. This JER guy is so angry. Claim your true feelings, wounded child. First off, what a dope ass name for a song. Let's hear it. Let's see if it's a good song. Let's see.
Wish I could feel a goddamn thing. Forget a heavy, hot mind, sure as hell won't sing. Lying awake, wondering what's up with me. To feel an empty void where my heart should be. He's such an up boy, 'cause men don't cry. I still think about it from time to time. Bothered as I sit watching myself bleed. Bloodstained carpets are always a pain to clean. Now I made a mess to make it all about me. Swear I really didn't mean to bring down everybody. He said, chin up, boy, 'cause men don't cry. The cadence of his words linger through my mind. He said, not today, you'll be a man. Can't shake a feeling I don't wanna understand. He said, chin up, boy, 'cause men don't cry. The cadence of his words linger through my mind. He said, not today, I raised a man. Can't shake a burden I could never understand.
Damn, and another really good track. I like how chill that was. Also, just kind of really spicing things up here because you had that ska core, you had some tracks that kind of felt somewhat similar to traditional ska, and then the other ones just kind of fell in a ska punkish thing. I think maybe one track really felt pure ska to me, and that was which one was that? I don't remember which one. I don't remember which one it was. I probably said it though. But I do gotta say, I imagine ska purists hate this. I just imagine. It's another thing. Ska people get so upset about what isn't ska. I don't know. All I know is, lyrically, I think this kind of represents, at least to me, kind of what ska started it with. It was highly political as well, so definitely didn't miss the mark there. Damn. Let's keep this going. It's 1:15 in the night at night. So if you're like, man, this guy really rambles, that'd be why. I'm a little out of it. I didn't sleep I slept like 5 hours, which is terrible, but slept like 5 hours and then checked out some tunes with Chuckles and hopped on here, and I just got done checking out Geese, and now I'm checking out JER. So really, I personally enjoy ska, but I'm not one that's like, oh, this is not ska. I'm not that kind of person. I'm here for the sonic adventure, if you will. I like just different forms of music, and I really like again some really nice depth lyrically, and this is really providing with that. So this is cool. Even though this last track didn't really have a whole lot of depth lyrically, I think it still hit on an important mark, and that is, it's okay to cry if you're a dude. It's not that big. It's not like the end of the world. I remember when I was like my buddy, you've seen him on the channel before, my buddy Stick. He'll love that I'm telling the story, especially online. Where we watched, I do not remember what movie it was. Regardless, a scene happens where a character suddenly dies, and then I'm like it hit me just right. We're probably I'm like 17 or 18, and he's like 16, maybe a little bit older than that. And I was like, oh fuck, this. I'm tearing up a little bit, and I was just like, I look over him, I was like, I'm about to get fucking roasted. And I look over him, and he's tearing up a little bit. I was like, okay. We're just not. It's okay. But no, it's not. It's emotions surpass gender. You know what I mean? When it comes to that kind of thing, it doesn't matter what gender you are. You're going to feel emotions, and that's a good thing. And unfortunately, I think a lot of guys, especially that came up, during the Great Depression, and you pass that kind of stuff, that hardness down. It doesn't need to be that way. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people just kind of harbor stuff, and it's unfortunate. Trying. I really am. And like I said, 4 more tracks. Let's get there.
How many times can a heart skip a beat? Does it hiccup till the blood curdling screams? Is it natural to be 6 feet deep? Not quite dead and not quite living, no humanity. Trying, I really am. Can't wrap my head around why there's frostbite in my hands this summer mid-July. Trying, I really am, to find touch the skin. I can't lose if no one wins. Can't see why if I just gouge my eyes. Malice thrives where all compassion dies. I'm trying, I really am. I'm trying, I really am. Trying, I really am. Can't wrap my head around why there's frostbite in my hands this summer, mid-July. Trying, I really am to find a pulse in my veins. I'm over at ampersand. Just need the space to feel again.
Man, I might get roasted for this, but that's fine. I really got a Third Eye Blind vibe from this track. Obviously, there was some, ska, a lot of ska stuff in it, but there were some stuff like the acoustic guitar and maybe the way he was singing in some instances and the height really reminded me of Third Eye Blind, just a smidgen. Like, and I'm not saying like he copied Third Eye Blind or something stupid like that. I'm saying maybe not even influenced, just reminded me of it. I'd like to be better.
It's 4 a.m. again, I'm staring at my ceiling fan, making plans to fix our society. Maybe I should take a step back or 2 or even 10. How can I fix the world if I can't fix me? You saw something inside of me, I think I saw it too, what I want to be. Maybe it's the tinnitus ringing, keeping me up at night. Past mistakes linger and high frequency. Maybe the flooded iris I conjured burnt in my mind. Could it be me? Could it be me? You saw something inside of me, I think I saw it too, what I want to be. Immense potential energy, fully saturated through every memory. Miscalculation in my eyes. No more excuses, alibis. Cardiograph will flatline when we live in the past, living our lives. Miscalculation in my eyes. No more excuses, alibis. Cardiograph will flatline when we live in the past, living our lives. I'd like to be better. I'd like to be better. I'd like to be better. I'd like to be
Man, I just want to say I don't want to dive into too much because I've already we're an hour into a 42-minute album, and I just can't seem to shut up. So maybe I'll just save it for the end. But I will say he's definitely hitting some themes that I feel very passionate about, and not just politically or systematically or anything like that. I'm just saying the way he's kind of viewing himself, or maybe the band. I don't know if this. I'm seeing a group of people here, so obviously we have some other musicians involved. It's a multi-instrumentalist based out of freaking Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville, Rock City, if you will. Refusing to be bound by the limits of genre. Okay, see, I like that they included that. I think that a lot of what this band is representing lyrically, thematically, I personally is something that I struggle with a lot. And I like I said, I'll dive more into that when we get to the end here. We got 2 more songs. Log Off. I could go to bed. I do need to go to bed. But then that, I don't want to go to bed.
Log off. Take a step outside. Algorithm in the system, accurate in design. Fighting anonymous faces, sex, gender, class, race, and stealth killer. Chemically addictive matters, well, color casing. Dopamine receptors popping, gilded, sparkly rings. Pings, got it bleeds, aspiring bourgeoisie. But your human value solely in commodity. Entire being 4 corners paid, monthly stay feeling. Impress a neighbor you don't know, follow her around. Living your vices and your comforts, never leave your town. What you see is what you get, and you don't see shit. Don't get outside your own perspective, everything it permits. Echo chamber of fear, your worldview is severe. Rejection, neglect, and collective care, reinforced for years. Make a nigga shed a tear. Moral apathy appears, death of the heart, where humanity disappears. Silence, eruption of conflict, simmer, festering into violence. Resentment becomes relentless, bearing witness to the quickness of circumventing this decision. Numb the pain with the addiction to a venom, a poison animosity. Target suffocate the heart, relentless in velocity. Counterfeit community, punitive ideology, denying any growth. Masqueraders, virtuosity, reflected inability to be anything what you see malicious. Self-identifying attention, making the friction in the business of avoiding conversation in relation. Imagination running wild with every causation. Finding collation via end of feelings, mass consultation. Let's take a spin on compassion before alienation. Let us grow collectively, let us heal and start to see resurgence of the heart, finding real community.
I like this one. I like that one a lot, actually. Had some chill moments, and then he was yelling at me to log out and go walk around, not look at the algorithm. All right. I need a reminder. I got a little bit of ADHD brain going on. You know what I mean? I forget sometimes. You gotta go outside a little bit. It's good for you. Except my problem isn't the algorithm. My problem is video games. I'm not. I wish I could have that excuse. Not really. I was addicted to algorithmically. TikTok fucked me up pretty good when I first downloaded that back in like 2020 or whatever it was. I had about a year of TikTok, or maybe 2 years. And then I was like, okay, I looked at the time that I spent on these social media apps, and I was like, I could have had all the book ideas that I've ever come up with written if I wouldn't have gotten involved in social media. The problem is, who would buy them? Because you got to run a social media page to push books. Oh shit. All right, let's finish this out. One last track, 4 minutes, 13 seconds. Let's get it. Okay, very initially, hold on, just for fun. It hits a weird tone that kind of reminds me, here's a throwback for you. That fucking Tim McGraw and was it Nelly? Over and over again. I think she's leaving. I don't know why. Just the tone popped that into my head. You guys are going to love that.
We're not so different. We're not so different. But to be indifferent, I think that's something we should learn to let go. To be understanding is not that demanding, necessary to grow. Will you spread your roots or let weeds consume your soul? Will turmoil degrade the soil, leave the heart cold? Grow through what we go through. The pain will alleviate soon. Healing Captain of you, of tomorrow's version of you. Grow through what we go through. Let compassion fill the void. Convalescence only starts when empathy drowns the noise. When there's presence of the heart. To say we can't grow, that we're always held up at the expense of a person unseen for an eternity, stuck in the past tense. The death of the heart can't understand or make sense of another worldview, tainted, construed. Affinity becomes offense. Grow through what we go through. The pain will alleviate soon. Healing Captain of you, of tomorrow's version of you. Grow through what we go through. Let compassion fill the void. Convalescence only starts when empathy drowns the noise. When there's presence of the heart. We're not so different. We're not so different. We're not so.
I like this track a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I like the track for the reminder. Like I'm myself, I'm a pretty big fan of individualism, right? I think you should be able to be yourself authentically. However, even me, sometimes I'll get a little like uptight with one of my friends or something, being a little goofy. And you're like, you got to remember, they're their own person too, you know? So this is a good reminder of that. Now, let's dive into this album as a whole, because I'm ready to go inside. I got it up to 53 degrees in here, and that's good. It is snow-covered outside. It's very chilly in here. Very, very chilly, as you can see in my double up. You're going to have to forgive my babbling. I got a few cons, but nothing like really bad. I think the biggest con we have here with this album is strictly, it just needs a little of the fat trimmed. I got to be honest, there's a couple tracks that just didn't feel as enthused as the other tracks. And personally, I think 12 or 13 track album would have been just perfect. Granted, 45 minutes, or 42 minutes, excuse me. It's not a long album already. I just think that this would have been a little higher rated for myself personally, if it was trimmed down a little higher, a little bit. It's something I hate, because as a writer, my editor gets on my ass constantly about overwriting. And I don't think that's a problem here, obviously, musically, and having a track list is much different than writing. But I do think sometimes, as long as it's not coming off generic, sometimes, slimming things down is a good thing. Really, that's my only con. That's it. I don't have a whole lot of issues with this. I feel very close thematically to a lot of what we're talking here. I'm sure a lot of people do. You don't have to be crazily educated, clearly, for me. Clearly, like, you don't have to be super educated to understand how things are going badly around us. And the problem with that, when you do learn it, which I struggle with, is everybody else around you thinks you're fucking full of shit. And they act like you're some kind of radical asshole. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I don't want people to be hurt, and I don't want people to die. But we need some empathy, because it's going to get to a breaking point. And when it gets to a breaking point, let me tell you, it's not going to be fucking good. I've studied enough history to understand that countries don't stick around a long time. They kind of fall back into the same name, obviously. But, yeah, your empire isn't going to last forever, and especially if you treat your people like shit. And it, at the moment, feels like you have a bunch of people at the top just fucking pulling the life out of everybody at the bottom. And the frustration that comes with that is, for me especially, locally, I don't know if there's anybody in my town that thinks like I do, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would be shocked. The amount of fucking Trump signs everywhere. Out of control. Yeah, I think, but when you have that knowledge and the people around you act like you're an idiot, it doesn't help, and it makes you kind of feel down on yourself, which is kind of what I felt with this album. Like, clearly, JER's educated, right? The band here is educated. We have some very nice lyrics that are, whether you agree with them or not, thought-provoking, and right there, that is awesome. So you have a very thought-provoking lyrics. They feel passionate about it, but they also kind of touch on loneliness and feeling like you're alone, and there are times I feel that way, especially, like, you shouldn't have to feel alone because you want people to be better. Like, it's such a weird thing. And not only that, they touch on the trying to be a better person. Like, you are trying to learn, you're trying to educate yourself, and it's still not enough for some people. Like, it's like almost like we forgot this entire concept of we all grow up in different places. I see constantly fucking farmers hating on inner city people, and they have no clue how an inner city operates. And then vice versa. You have your very inner city person is fucking clueless on how they operate out here. And it just creates this weird fucking bridge of, like, animosity. And regardless, like I said, you try to do better, and then you kind of get down on yourself because everybody around you, it's like they push you away a little bit. and then you're like, man, I just want to be a better person. I want to, for me, I just had to start concentrating on, listen, fuck the other people. fuck them. I don't really care. But my daughters are going to grow up knowing their dad at least fucking tried. You know what I mean? Damn, it's not an easy subject matter in general when you're looking like that, because I'd like to be better, absolutely, but we're humans. We're going to be flawed, and we're going to disappoint. We need to allow for room for error and learning, and that's hard in a world filled with ignorance and arrogance and people that sometimes who are in the wrong don't even believe they're in the wrong. So like a lot of my personal frustrations, let's put it that way, wrapped up here thematically, lyrically, and I appreciate that. So that's huge ups for me. The sound itself was cool. It was a nice little blend of your ska punk, very little bit of political hip hop. I almost would just leave it as ska punk personally, but I could definitely throw in alt rock. I feel like I could throw in some alt rock. Like this kind of at times had an alt rock feel to it. And not that that's problematic. Again, I'm not a ska purist. I love ska. I think it's cool, but I think people get way too fucking uptight about it. In general, I'm not a gatekeepy kind of person when it comes to genre, and a lot of people, it turns out, are gatekeepy. So it is what it is. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of negatives or anything to say about this. Like I said, the lyrics didn't come off too stuck up or anything like too highbrow or something like that. I thought everything was really handled nicely. I just think some of these tracks could have been trimmed off, maybe release a deluxe later where you have a little extra, or an EP. You know what I mean? But that's, again, my personal opinion. Ratings. It's that time. Now, keep this in mind. This is my personal, like, where I would find this on my rating scale. This is not me judging a piece of art and being like, this is a 2, and you guys don't know enough about art, and that's why you don't know that this is a 2. That's not what's happening here. This is just, my personal opinion, like where it sits for me musically. And I am personally, I'm going to go with I didn't really think about that before I was giving I probably should have thought about that before and then give the disclaimer and then the rating. You know what I mean? But I don't have that. Son of a bitch. Let's go with a 7.2 here. 7.2. I don't think it's a mid project. I don't think it's good. I think it's great. 7.2. And this definitely has potential to go up, maybe on a couple listens. But yeah, I think I definitely think it falls in the great category. Like I said, I think it would have been a little higher if maybe there was a couple tracks slimmed out, but that's not really important. I like that lyrically, dude went in depth. They went in depth with it, and I appreciate that for sure. Guys, JER doesn't get shit from me listening to this or you listening to my video of this, so this is something we need to be crystal clear about when we're reacting. Go over and support the damn artist, okay? If you like this, add songs to your playlist. Show your friends. That's free. Follow them on their socials. That's free if you're okay with being, part of the social media game. If you got a little quiche laying around, awesome. Buy some merch. Buy some live tickets. Go support the artists that you like while they're around doing their thing. Okay? Life is short. Get your ass to a show. It's that simple. Unless you're old and crippled like me. I'm not crippled, to be clear. My back is freaking jacked, though. So I'm borderline crippled. It's gonna be a problem when I get older, for sure. The factory work, the 12 years of factory work doing the exact same job of twisting is pretty much shattered my back. I went in there and they're like, yeah, so your nerves are being pinched by your spine. And unfortunately, the only thing we can do is torch the shit out of those nerves and burn them down. You know what I mean? And I was like, that doesn't sound like fun. So I'm dealing with the pain for now. We'll see if I can find a way to fix that. But regardless, this is a good-ass album. I'm really impressed. Kind of mad at myself for putting it off for this long, because this few times I was like, I should probably give this a spin. This is kind of in our category of things. But I don't know why I didn't. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Pyro Slays Music. If you want to support me, simple, hit that like, drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, your opinions on this album, where you agreed with me. Obviously, if you have some corrections where you think, hey, maybe, what you said here wasn't right, I'm yours. I'm willing to chat. I'm willing to throw down in the discussions. So, yeah, that's it. Toodaloo!